Come on, here I am with my cheat sheets, okay? Let's go. Man, why have you always had this style of very short songs? Is it really because of that Ramones influence having all those 2-minute songs? You didn't even think about it.
No, it's because I think what we had to say was said there.
But later on, did the songs get longer?
Yeah, but it was really a matter of maturing. We were always very afraid of repeating ourselves, of getting repetitive. You see with Raimundo, you see Mulher de Fases, right? Everyone who doesn't know Mulher de Fases, well, when they try to play it, they mess up. Because it's not 4/4, 4 here, 4 there. No, you have to memorize the whole thing. It's like speaking Japanese. You have to memorize it.
Yeah, there's the form, I think. That's it.
Yeah, it changes. It keeps changing. We always want to give something different. We're not that 4/4/4/4 thing, no? By Ribeiro was funny because he was going to play with us. Then we said, no, but here it changes. But what do you mean? No, but here it changes. Man, it was really funny. Very good, very good. So I think over time we matured, but always being careful not to become repetitive. I am very careful. Sometimes people say, hey, no, you could increase this here. Man, to do that, there really has to be a strong need. Because otherwise, I think, I don't know, it just keeps repeating.
Yeah, at that time you were making songs shorter than the radio standard of the time. Today, the standard is very short.
It's because we were ahead of our time, because today, right? Today, young people don't stay 40 seconds on a song. No. You already started the song singing.
Many times, it started. Man.
Yeah, this kind of delay can't happen today. It's impressive, man. The relationship young people have with music today amazes me. They have no patience. Zero patience to listen to a song.
I keep imagining if we could be next to the people who listen to music today on Spotify. We would be very upset, right?
Because they're walking, then it changes. Then it changes. Wait, the coolest part was now, man, wait. I was with some friends. We were at a guy's house. There was a crazy guy there. And this guy was like that. We were listening to music. We were enjoying it. And then suddenly the guy would change the song. Then a friend of mine, she's really funny, Lydiane, she's a really nice person. She said, if this guy changes the song again, I'm going to hit him. It's anxiety, man. It's pure anxiety.
That's true.
I said, man, what a horrible guy. Very funny. Come on, man. 96.
You guys released Sexta Básica, and it had a few new songs, but also covers and reinterpretations.
Yeah, that was a year when we had the obligation to release an album because we were under contract. But we kind of weren't really in the mood to...
You guys wanted to play more than compose. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't really a time of great inspiration to make an album and all. It's because, let me just finish what I wanted to write here. Some people say that this album was more about meeting the fans' need for new material from the band than necessarily being something...
No, it wasn't up. I don't know. We said, what are we going to do? Then I said, man, then we wanted to make a home video. Because I got to know Pantera through a home video, right? It wasn't through a CD. It was through Pantera's home video. I saw Pantera in images. I said, well, Raimundo should have a home video and all. So we were already filming a lot. And man, well, we could do a re-recording here, do something, record a cover or something. Then we put together a box set. Then I was the one who gave it the name. I said, well, like a basic basket. Basic basket. I liked it. Then came the box, the basic basket. CD. Then we really liked Anjali, and I said, man, let's do one. Let's do it. Portray. The song Proteiro de João Pessoa in a little magazine made by Anjali. And then I spent an afternoon there with Anjali, telling the story of the song. And he was taking notes and all. And then he drew based on that.
I didn't know that happened.
Yes. I spent the whole afternoon there with Angeli, man. It was really cool. And then I told the story, just like I told you. I told him the whole story like that. But he did it based on the song, not on how we made the song.
It's the way it is.
And then, all right. And the home video, a CD wrapped in home video. Dana.
Now released by Warner.
And already being released by Warner. And they made a CD because it had the songs and all. Then there was a cover of the Sex Pistols. The Ramones cover? No. The Ramones cover was on the other album. There was a cover of the Sex Pistols. There was The Mess of a Person. There was an unreleased song which was Yours, which is a song in English, which was still from the 80s. And what else? I don't even remember. Oh, there was live music, man. I don't even remember. There are live things?
So it was an album that, in a way, didn't leave much of a mark.
No. Yeah, it was just to fulfill a contract. But it ended up being cool because there's a home video and such. It sold 100,000 copies, and sold well. It went gold and all.
So let's go. 97 was La Paras do Povo, which is a heavy album, a more fast-paced foundational album even.
That's when there was that whole Mamonas thing. Bands trying to imitate, being funny. And he said, man, it's time for us to divert, to throw them off.
Yeah, because this album doesn't have ballads, doesn't have Northeastern elements. It has a lot of guitar, so tell us more about this album.
So for this album, we wanted to make the heaviest record on the face of the earth. So we said, man, let's do it. And I was a huge fan of Pantera at that time. And then I said, man, let's make a heavy album. Then we started making those heavy riffs and all and it was an album that we finished in the studio. Normally we would make the album beforehand, go to the studio, and the album would be ready. Not this one. We finished it inside the studio.
How long did you stay in the studio? Like,
we stayed for 2 months.
That's cool, right?
And this was the thing. This wasn't, like it was recorded and mixed there. No, it was rehearsed, recorded and mixed there in the United States, in California. In fact, we recorded at Sound City, right? Which is the studio where Dave Grohl bought the console. When I met Dave Grohl, I said, I'm a sound sitter.
He looked at me. Wow.
I recorded there too.
Man, that was cool because the record label had to put money into it, right?
Of course they did. But that year it was 1-to-1. So for us, it was 1-to-1. The dollar and the real. So it was wonderful. Hey, do you want to record abroad? Of course. Let's go abroad, man.
But why did they propose for you to record there?
Man, for the experience to have and the producer was the same as La Vota Novo. And he said, no, we'll record here. There's a studio. He got us to record in a classic studio, which was Sound City. Man, when I walk in, there's a gold record plaque from Kiss that goes all the way around like a platinum record. Then I look to the right, and there's Nevermind recorded here. Then I look to the other side, One Hot Minute. A bunch of Tom Petty records.
Make a guy enter more humbly, right?
Damn, for a guy, it's expensive. I would go in, play video games, and look at the gold records of the big shots. Rage Against the Machine, the first one, was recorded there. We met the producer of Rage, who was Gaga Gart. We played ping pong with him. Man, it was really cool. What an experience, man. That there.
So the record label was cool with you guys?
Absolutely. We were in fashion.
Because there's also this thing that the label is malicious. Just wants to take advantage.
When you work properly and do your part, they will do their part. Man, and we had an amazing experience because I went to Steve Vai's house because I wasn't liking the sound the producer was getting. Because I bought a guitar, I bought a hammer, and we were using the JCM 800, which I like. I think it has a cool sound and all. But for this album, I needed a more Pantera-like sound. It was even more transistorized because Pantera uses the ADA, which is a transistorized preamp with a tube head. And then, man, I wasn't getting the sound I wanted.
Do you know if it's not Mesa Boogie that he uses?
No, he uses the Randall head, Randall cabinet, and the Hadar, which was the preamp where he created the distortion.
And then I wasn't happy. Later, they even launched his own brand, Jaime, where the head was transistor. Yeah, it was transistorized. Very good.
And then, but Guiminia,
Wait, what did you go to do at Steve Vai's, man?
Calm down, I'll tell you. Now, how did I end up at Steve Vai's house? Guiminia is very good friends with Marcelo Gomez. He even lives here in Rio. He owns the American Coffee. You know, the American Coffee that's there in New York and all. It's the American Coffee. He's the one who made it, right? He was Steve Vai's sound technician for many years in the United States. So he lived in the United States, like Steve Vai. 3 in the morning, I want to record. He would go there and record. He was the technician. Steve Vai would record, and he was the technician. Then he, a friend of Guiminia, who was ours, who even did the Celine solo, and was our technician. He was with us there in LA. And then he went there to visit us in the studio, Marcelo. And then I told him, man, damn, I'm not liking the sound. This isn't the sound I want. He said, so, hold on. Let's take a walk. Then we got into the van. We had a swing star, a white van that fit everyone. Then, let's go this way. Let's go this way. Go up here, drive around the rivers. We arrived at a house, and I said, what house is this? Steve Vai's house. Really.
Then we went in.
I entered with Steve Vai's studio.
Was he there? No, he was in Europe.
Oh, damn. Hold on, I'm going to grab something over there. Then he brought a sounds amplifier. That PSA 1. PSA, right? Pesawa. And he brought the Palma speaker simulator. It was the first time I heard about guitar simulation. About a simulator.
Yes, was that in 97?
Then he said, let's go to the studio. Then we went to the studio where we were recording. He went there, set it up, and plugged in my guitar. Opened the mixer, play. Damn. That's it, man. That's it. Heavy sound. You know, just the way I wanted it. Beautiful. Then he said, look, now here's the thing. You're going to have to talk to your producer. Because Mark Dinley, man, he recorded Highway to Hell. He wasn't the producer. He was the sound engineer for those albums, right? And he was very purist. He wanted to mic everything broadly and such. But then I convinced him, man, the sound I want is this one here. This one here.
Was he upset?
He was a bit upset. He was, because he wanted me to record with, but it wasn't going to happen. Because here's the thing, what happens? I really like the Marshall head, but I don't like it with the Marshall cabinet. It's a very mid-range. Mid-range. It becomes too mid-range. When you take a Marshall head and put it on a Mesa Boogie cabinet, man, it becomes the sound. That's why I used it for many years. Mesa Boogie cabinet. But my amplifier was a JMP1. The JMP1 preamp with Marshall's Power 9200. In other words, it's the perfect combination because it has the mid-range. I don't like amplifying with Mesa Boogie because the Mesa Boogie with Mesa Boogie cabinet becomes too closed. It doesn't produce the sound I like. Now, when you put a Marshall with a Mesa Boogie cabinet, it's perfect. Then comes the weight. Then comes a beautiful weight. Then it regulates itself, defines, becomes heavy, just the way I like it. So much so that the album we recorded now, I made the combination again. And then I managed it, the Lapadas, has songs that were recorded with the JSM 800 with the Marshall cabinet. And there are songs that were recorded with the simulator. The heavier ones, Bella Funk, Walking on the Stone, you can see it's a different guitar sound.
But which simulation were you using? Do you remember?
No, the PSA one with this U Palmer.
But was it simulating any amplifier?
No, at that time, it didn't have one. It was the sound of the Sans amp with the cabinet simulator. It didn't say, oh, a cabinet like this. No, it simulated a cabinet and it sounded really good. Marcelo's settings were great. Marcelo Gomes. So, man, it's not like today where you have the impulse response. Oh, I want a certain cabinet. No, it was the Roots. And 18 years later, at Rock in Rio, when Steve Vai was going to play there at the Sunset, right? I was there backstage and all, and Marcelo Gomes was there. Then I said, hey, take me there to meet Steve Vai. He said, sure. Then I went in. I said, Steve Vai, how are you? I need to tell you something. 18 years ago, I went to your house without you knowing. Then he looked at me like this, and Marcelo was laughing beside me. Yeah, Marcelo, man, and I went there because I was recording the album, and then he took your Sans amp and a Palmer speaker simulator. Remember him? Oh, yes, I remember. Well, we used it without you knowing because I was talking like a comedy, right? And he found it very funny. Then he even said, oh, wow, that's cool. Then he told his roadie, hey, set aside the speaker simulator because I want to give it to him. He said that to me. Wow. He said it, but no, right, until he gives me that. But he said there in the studio, hey, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you and all. He said, look, I just wanted to thank you. I didn't even take a picture, man. I just wanted to thank you very much and all, you know. And that was it. Wow, what a trip, right? Such a trip, right, man? I found it these striking stories from the people out there. 18 years later, I went to your house without you knowing. You made a child very happy that day, right? Wow, man. Wow. It's a monster.